Welcome to Vantage Technology webinar. We are thrilled to have you join with us today for truly exciting and exciting session. The session name is Building an Agentic Enterprise in Regulated Industries with Salesforce and MuleSoft. In this webinar, we will explore how organizations across highly regulated sectors like banking, financial services, healthcare, life science, pharmaceutical, biotechnology, insurance, energy utility, telecommunication, and many more industries can safely, effectively enable agentic workflow within maintain compliances, trust, and operational excellence. We are honored to be joined today by the distinguished guest from Salesforce, Vara Imadi. Vara is respected leader. Let me welcome him. So Vara is a respected leader in Salesforce. He's working with a lot of with the partner and AI side. They are enabling their journey in AI journey, building extensive experience in guiding enterprise through the responsible and scalable AI adoption. Please join me in giving a warm, enthusiastic welcome to Vara Imadi. We are excited to have you with us. Vara, welcome to our webinar.
Thank you, Rajnish. All right. Can you guys see my screen and hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Are we good to go? Or, you've been very, very kind enough to actually say so many praises of me. So, first of all, thank you for everyone who's joining us this afternoon or morning and around the globe. So thank you for taking time off to just hear about all the exciting stuff that's happening across industries and particularly regulated industries. How the agentic revolution is taking everyone by storm, and how architecting the agentic enterprise is actually the number one thing on every CIO, CTO, and CXO audience right now. In this next 30-35 minutes, I'm going to walk you through particularly the lens of MuleSoft through the agentic revolution for regulated industries. We'll talk about a couple of use cases, and more importantly, one use case that we have successfully established at Ticketmaster. So we're going to look at that use case at a much deeper lens. And then I'm also going to talk about what it really takes from an operational perspective, because remember, agentic enterprise is very, very aspirational, is absolutely phenomenal. But then I think the process, and more importantly, the people are the ones who actually make it really, really possible there. So we're going to start off with that. And then I think just to begin off with the agentic enterprise, I think if you just think about the agentic enterprise, I think one more important thing that you'll probably see is the aspect of how agentic enterprise is something that is powering the digital economy there. And if you look at it, it's more like a journey and not a a straight through path because of how the architectures have been built. So typically, a lot of our customers and every large enterprise organization that we see them as kind of having a lot of systems. In fact, I think every year we publish the connectivity benchmark report, and every year the number of applications inside an average enterprise and in the regulatory industry continue to increase. I think it's over 1,000 applications now, and a lot of these applications are connected point to point, and oftentimes really meaning that these are siloed, and as a result, it's pretty much a messy and inefficient heterogeneous system of data there. But then everyone wants to evolve, and then this is exactly where the foundation begins. The foundation really begins with a composable enterprise architecture, all taking the advantage of the more API-led connectivity, of course, now agent-led connectivity and agent-led actions, but more importantly, underline the domain-driven aspect and how this all comes down to the live examples of the agentic enterprise there. And finally, as they build this composable enterprise with the API-led and the domain-centric design, naturally, the agentic enterprise is the next step. Agentic enterprise is nothing but the extension of AI-powered applications, all powered through that composable and actionable architecture platform there. So in all, the architecture really is the is the really underlying niche pin that drives a lot of these activities. So one of the most important questions that you should be asking, hey, where is my current position in this particular agentic maturity? Is it at the bottom? Is it at the at the top or in the middle, and so on and so forth? Why is this fundamentally important? I think fundamentally this is very important because agentic revolution is very different than the original ones. If you think about the different type of generations, just like how you have the generations in computer science or any other historical language, you will really see that we have come at a long pace. We've gone in from the internet era to the mobile era to the cloud computing era to the now more IoT and now the AI era there. And we think that the reason AI is very different, and I was just reading an article just before this. I think it was from bookings.com, where the CEO would typically say, hey, I've survived all those revolutions before, but I think AI revolution is very different. And the reason why it is so different is because of this. The consumers are the agents, and agents try to mimic human counterparts. We have traditionally felt and actually positioned agents as that autonomous acting software that really thinks and behaves like human, without the the physical aspects of it, um, like the hands and the legs and everything in between there. And we also need to understand that these are softwares that are not just gonna think differently, because they're based off their experiences just like humans are, but their experiences are pretty vastly limited. For example, if you ask an agent a computer software about, hey, think about a rose, it would probably feel like, hey, the answer would come in, roses are red, roses have thorns, roses grow in bushes, so on and so forth. But then if you ask the same question to a human, the first thing that comes to a human's mind is actually the time when he or she actually spent smelling the rose, how the rose perfume really smells different, how the flower is fundamentally different, and so on and so forth, right? So there's definitely a fundamental difference between a human and agent. But I think things be told true, agents are trying to mimic as much as they can, and they can mimic that when they are actively trained correctly on a wide variety of data, and they are also having that context that comes in different forms and shapes. And more fundamentally important is that these agents are going to be the interfaces to customers or any of the stakeholders, which means a lot of these agents are going to talk in natural language, which is a big barrier. Because if you just think about the old generations of things that I've spoken about, the internet era, which is where machines have been talking about to a human in a natural language and so on and so forth. But behind the scenes, it's all zeros and all. And then I think in the cloud computing, it's all about infrastructure layers, and in the mobile, it's a more on the network connectivity and so on and so forth. But in the AI era, each human is going to talk and behave differently. They're going to type differently. So you have to have this agent really fully understanding the context, the full plethora of context about everything there. Which means that each agent is maybe they're not operating on their own. They probably are orchestrating, and we'll talk about that orchestration in just a bit. But more importantly, these agents talk and behave in different languages and so on and so forth. So they think differently, but they also need different standards there. There's not one single standard where an agent talking to another agent and to another application is there, because that's the fundamental way how these agent ecosystems are really defined there. So what does it really mean? This really means that agents are all about domains that they operate, and architecture is the aspect that really defines them, right? And we've long seen this play out really well in the web. We've seen lot of times where headless commerce, headless commerce, and headless applications, web apps, they've all been there for a long, long time there, and I think it holds good alongside with agents as well. These headless domains are the ones that define the agents in operating in that domain. So take an example of this one that you're seeing on the screen. The inventory is the top level domain, and under inventory they can be on order agent that operates entirely on that inventory, from restocking it if or replenishing it when a particular stock hits its low, or just feeding off the inventory status to a third party front end application, and so on and so forth. There that can come in. And of course, these agents are not going to operate in their own. They obviously have lots of systems behind the scenes, and these systems are being operated and exposed as MCP servers in the agentic architecture there. And again, the underlying North Star is that the agents are going to talk in natural language, and then these applications are still going to give you that same data, but then something that the agent can really understand and pass it on back to the end customer. So that's just one of many, many ones. So think about this one. Think about this larger spectrum of things. When you're really thinking about regulated industry and which are larger enterprise, think of these as consisting of multiple set of operations, from supply chain and operations domain, where you do a lot of these demand forecasting, and understanding how the next quarter, since we have just been through our Thanksgiving here in the US, I think a lot of demand forecast happens even months and months ahead of Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday as well. So this is a huge, fundamentally a very critical organizational department inside the enterprise. This is also where you can also have multiple set of architectures with agents demand that are kind of predicting the future demand with a lot of the existing data based on past demand and different aspects there. And then there's also a logistic agents, as you can see there, which can replenish when and these can also be not just when the stock levels drop down to ultra low. These can be also based on certain aspects. Like for instance, a couple of months ago, when tariffs were all announced in the US, retailers was trying to stock up, and that's an external factor that the agent would have obviously caught up with the news and then reorder some of the items before a new tariff hits, and so on and so forth there. And this is where you have these new aspects of agent registry and MCP registry that are going to be there. But if you just think about these, I think this particular domain agent in the set of domain, the agents in this supply chain and operations demand, they have a lot in common, but they also have a lot that are not in common, apparently, because they kind of work hand in hand, with the ultimate aspect that there is inventory that can foresee the supply and also make sure that they're going in, right? And this is where it all comes down. This is where the rubber meets the road. So if you just think about different domains, this is what it means. So we have seen supply chain demand, we've seen the data, and we haven't seen the data analytics, but behind the scenes there's R&D and product development, there's finance and accounting that directly ties up with supply chain and ops. There's of course the customer who are also kind of pretty much the most important stakeholder for the organization. And in regulated industries, these could be banking customers, these could be credit card customers, these could be healthcare patients or clinical trial participants, you name it. There are a number of profiles there. But notice how all of these operate on different systems. Some are operating on Salesforce, some of which are completely backend, hidden out from the external world, like your SAPs or your NetSuites of the world. Some of them are just productivity tools that are probably there out there, like your Tableau reporting or your Databricks, that's doing a lot of data engineering work. Or some of them are just plain old databases that are sitting there in Oracle, or some proprietary systems. The fundamental aspect that is really kind of really cool about this is that all of these are and can be actually integrated and also make these experiences seamless with the help of Salesforce and MuleSoft there. And I'll illustrate you with some examples about this one, right? They all interact with one another with something called an agent fabric. An agent fabric is kind of you can think about it as a fabric or a mesh that has all of these components embedded inside each of it. And this is where Mule's agent fabric comes in. Like I said, shown before, there are few use cases that some have actually developed agents on. Then there are agents that are completely built on different heterogeneous platforms. Some are built with the OpenAI's recent agent kit. Some of them are are built with LangChain. Some of them are just small, hyperscalers are small agents that are built with hyperscaler offerings from Amazon, Azure, and Google. Um, and some of them are just vibe coded, built agents with the vibe coding tools like Replit or Bubble or Lovable, or even N8N for that matter. There. So what it really means is that agents are being built at a accelerated pace, and enterprise are facing an explosion of AI agents built both in-house, embedded in SaaS, and I did not even say this. All of these SaaS vendors, including Salesforce, Workday, ServiceNow, all of these are actually packing their platforms with agents, and of course MuleSoft as well. Since we've just launched out the diagnostic agent and soon gonna launch out 5 more agents in the next 3-4 months. Every single platform, from your application to your customers to even your to your software development, every single vendor out there is embedding a lot of agents in their own SaaS or in their own offerings. And then what it really means is governance is going to be a huge factor. Regulated industries are primed for this disaster, unfortunately. As much as they want to build in and they start building it with so much investment, suddenly all of a sudden they realize that, okay, they are stuck in this big set of agents that no one even knows what each agent is doing or what each agent is connected and how they are all interacting and all. Now, this is a very cool diagram that actually shows the I wouldn't say API led architecture, but maybe an agentic layered architecture that is very well shown out apparently with that agent interaction layer in between, because this agentic layer is what is gonna bring in a lot more capabilities, including the likes of simplifying AI app development, uh, more importantly, unifying the AI ecosystems. Because, like I said, AI stack is not just one single technology; it's a stack of technologies, just like your full stack developer role brings in. It's got LLMs, it's got databases, it's got caching, memory, it's got your custom AI, it's got the protocols. It's a full stack of things, and there are multiple of these vendors or vendor platforms that are offering full stack offerings. And just like how enterprise can use multiple clouds, most of these are also using multiple AI ecosystems. So how do you unify AI ecosystems? And when you unify them, you also want to govern them, make sure that you're monitoring your AI deployments, managing them, and more importantly, securing them. And of course, you also want to extend and future proof your um, agentic rollout for that matter, and that true agentic enterprise there. So, changing a little bit uh, of pace, let me actually give you some live examples of what we've done. And one trailblazer example is the work that we've done with Ticketmaster. So, as most of you guys know, Ticketmaster is a huge entertainment company, and they are almost number one in terms of the American event ticket sales and They're a huge. I think their parent company is called Live Nation Entertainment. So they really serve as this primary platform for purchasing and reselling a lot of tickets for a wide variety of live events, including concerts, sport games, sports, theater, and even I think comedy shows as well. And they have pretty cool tech with respect to how you can access those tickets digitally via their app, and how you can even get the event details directly on the phone. So there's no need for a physical printout and all that stuff. So they kind of really cool, and they also operate globally as well. They are an official partner for many major leagues, and particularly since NFL is there, NFL and I think the baseball one as well, um, is one of their biggest customers there. Of course, they're a huge Salesforce shop as well. As you can see, they use our CRM for doing all of their customer set of entry points. They kind of use quite a lot of technologies as well across everything. So what we did at Ticketmaster is a classic example of, and like I said, because they own a lot of data that is from customers, and they also have a lot of financial processing data. There's also a big challenge for them with respect to their sales, support, and marketing of those events, and with variety of channels, as you can think about, right? Since their primary business is ticketing, that is one big thing. And then since they also have support systems about certain things, they usually get a lot of calls on their 1-800 number. And they also want to make sure that they're positioning their pricing according to the demand and to the location and geography and so on and so forth. So they've embarked on a massive agentic enterprise experience, and they're widely regulated as well, because you cannot charge more than certain price limit if the event is these many hours and so on and so forth. So there's pretty tightly regulated in that sense, for and the data storage and everything there. So what they did was they really had their own set of application stacks from the likes of Salesforce, Database, Zendesk, and their own Ticketmaster internal proprietary system there. And they started off with building these agents for ticketing, for support, for their CRM, and so on and so forth. And first and foremost, what they did was they did not want to build these agents from scratch. Instead, what they did was they actually used their existing system APIs. Their API-led connectivity has actually turned on to make these APIs being available and accessible towards agents. So what they did was they wrapped up with the MCP connector, using MuleSoft's MCP connector, and they exposed all of these tools that were previously API methods there. So now that these tools are accessible, they then build the agents in wide variety of application systems, from native Mule apps to Salesforce Agentforce to Python apps that kind of interact and mimic the same behavior. And they also deployed them across multiple channels, from Slack to mobile to web, and even their iOS device as well, like Apple Watch and so on and so forth. So they basically embarked on this. When we first started off, we spoke about, hey, how do you do this? Clearly, they followed the domain-led agentic architecture style. So what they did was they actually labeled down certain questions in certain domains, and basically sorted out how many domains they needed. In this case, what is each agent is gonna do? What kinds of questions are these agents gonna answer? What kind of data that these agents can actually access? And more importantly, who are the stakeholders that these agents are gonna talk to? Is it just gonna be internal ones or external ones, and vice versa, or a mix of all of those, right? So they identified all of these domains and relevant systems. and basically conducted what is called the business and operational criticality aspect there. Similar to what we have done at General Mills as well. General Mills is another big use case. And before that, let me actually show you this one. So they've actually put this off similar to what these domains and relevant systems are. From an enterprise and data analytics, they've done all of this. The same domain-centric design is also done at General Mills. I'm sure pretty much almost all of us have eaten cereal at some point from General Mills, and they produce high quality ingredients from flour to cereals and much more. And I think this is even better because food safety is a huge thing.
Hey, Varun,
Let me share.
look like your
Let me
screen sharing is not working. Can you please reshare?
oh, sorry. I think. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So sorry. I think my computer probably ran out of memory.
Okay.
All right.
No.
So I'm not quite sure if this particular slide was shown before. You guys could see this one.
No.
Okay. So at Ticketmaster, this is exactly what the questions were asked. So this is the way how multi-domain orchestration really delivered a unified experience at Ticketmaster. So these are all these agents where the roles were identified, access to those to the backend systems were all kind of identified, and how are these APIs going to be MCP-fied so that way they can be spoken towards agents and so on and so forth. So Ticketmaster was one such place where it was not a multi-agent orchestration that happened, but apparently these agents have dedicated roles and responsibilities, and they've spoken to backend systems one-on-one kind of a thing. The story at General Mills is a little different. I think I just spoke about General Mills, who are a pretty big supplier of cereal and flour and many more food items. So for them, food safety is a huge thing because a recall, FDA regulates a lot of these outbound agricultural products, and they are under huge scrutiny, and they're very cautious about the reputation and the reputational damage that a particular recall might do to their brand. So for them, supply chain was important. Manufacturing and prod ops were really important. But more importantly, I think their product management and quality assurance and food safety compliance, that was ultimately the biggest one. So what they did was they wanted to get agents on because they did not have huge manpower. So they really felt that this was one industry or one department that really gets benefited from these agents. So how they did it was they actually went with these domain centric agentic architecture style once again. And as you can see down below, they have even more systems from their SAPs to Workdays to even multiple instances of SAPs and Salesforces there across geos and so on and so forth. So what they did was they did a heat map with respect to their API structure and so on and so forth. They've also ensured what are the key use cases there. So, for instance, they want to make sure that they really need a real-time visibility into their supply chain. Um, and since COVID, I think everyone's after, and we've long witnessed what's the problematic aspect that supply chain can bring in and sweep through the to the grocery store. So supply chain logistics was something that they were really focused on. They also wanted to make sure that their quality assurance uh, got some support from an operational perspective. They want to make sure that there is manufacturing data with respect to the expiries of the system, expiry of the food items, and so on and so forth. So that way, they are not even shipping them out or holding those packages before even asking for a recall and so on and so forth, right? So they were kind of doing all of this, and like I said, they did a heat map. Lucky for them, they're already a huge MuleSoft customers and Salesforce adopters as well. So they are largely an API-led shop in most of these smaller departments that they think they want to deploy agents on. So for instance, and this is the heat map that they actually did. So they had large number of APIs in terms of the availability in the supply chain and logistics domain, while the manufacturing and R&D really did not have that many APIs there. So what they did was they basically wanted to make sure they start proactively with respect to the largest thing, and this is how they've also felt that this proactive shipment delay is something that the agentic experience in the supply chain and logistics has one good coverage, but also an immediate ROI, return on investment there. So they are one of our first customers who've actually embarked on the agentic interaction layer or the agentic broker layer, where the agent is going to orchestrate. The agent broker is going to orchestrate through multiple of these different MCP servers down below that can interact and ensure that the shipment delay is resolved even before someone really reports it. And of course, they did not just stop there. So here's basically what that use case. They actually started off with the proactive shipment delay, but they actually also expanded and fully implemented three more use cases, from automated contract pricing optimization to consumer complaint triage to new product introductions, NPIs, automated new product introductions. They were able to deploy agents that actually leveraged APIs via the MCP protocols, and they deployed it into production there. So this is just a small representative list of the few existing process APIs in this case, across General Mills, which were leveraged to accelerate the agentic strategy there. Of course, like everyone else, the agentic strategy doesn't just stop off with one or two use cases. They've actually now started off thinking about their next big domain, which is the manufacturing and product operations, where they wanted to operate and they want to operate agents across 5 key use cases. And these are also pretty cool, because one, I think they wanted to make sure that there's a huge focus on the carbon footprint from a energy consumption analytics perspective. They want to do that. They also want to make sure that their production schedule is optimized, and there's predictive maintenance of equipment that can be done. And this is all really cool because it's not just one single application or one single tech stack that it is connecting it to. It's operating on very cool stuffs like IoT gateways. Of course, ERPs and BI tools have been there, but really cool tools like, for example, the utility meter, how much energy is being pumped in, and basically measuring the utilization and of course calculating the carbon footprint across all of their machinery, across all of their factories. I think it was really cool to see it. Just moving along, I think one important aspect that you'll probably see is the when you think about retail, when you think about regulated industries, I think I didn't want to lose out saying, hey, I think the biggest on everyone's mind is healthcare and healthcare, life sciences, and of course financial banking. So I thought I'll probably want to put this one in anyway. So that way, you guys can actually see this retail banking workflow as well. Here's a retail banker who've actually unlocked a lot of revenue, and more importantly, their customer satisfaction. They were able to increase a quarter percentage, 25% up with respect to implementing agents across different spectrums. So there's a compliance agent which does all the reviewing that respect to retail banking. Hey, is this customer up to date on his KYC, or are there any additional mail that needs to be sent to this particular customer, particularly with respect to how their marketing policies have changed and so on and so forth. Are we able to cross sell when this particular customer receives a huge deposit? Maybe it's because of a retirement, maybe it's because of a home sale or something around it. And can we actually increase the relevancy of offers that this particular customer can receive, and so on and so forth, right? So a lot of marketing use cases are all automated, and more importantly, not automated, but they are agentified, and as such, they were able to upskill their CSAT scores, and also achieve additional revenues from the advantage with basically the agents there. So let me actually play you a 5 minute. I know we have some time, so let me play you the demo of a particular use case. So here's the use case.
So it a very good presentation it was. So we are waiting for to load this demo.
Oh, the demo isn't showing up?
Okay, look like it's slow. Let me.
All right. Let me walk you through a real demo. Otherwise, let
So
me.
it's sound is coming. Sound is along with that demo because there is no
Yes.
sound is coming.
Okay. There is no sound that is coming.
So,
All right. I think MacBook Air. All right. Yeah. I think now you should be able to.
okay.
Um, can you hear it now? Can you hear that?
No.
Okay.
Let me look into the. Hold on. Let me look.
No, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So, anyways,
Okay.
I think I'm probably gonna walk through the demo anyway. So what it really does is it's a series of actions that basically get you to questions around the aspect of how you can build an agent with powered by MuleSoft score. Um, Inference connector. So this is the Mule app that you probably are seeing on the screen, and it builds
No,
out.
I think again it's your sharing is stop. Look like yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so sorry. Um, how about now? Can you
Okay,
see that?
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
all right. Is the audio visible?
yeah. Now it's coming. Perfect.
All right. So that's though it's a recorded demo. I think I'll probably show you a live demo in what is called
Yeah.
the Agent Fabric. And by the way, the ones that he showed, you can use multiple different host agents. Um, agent, yeah. So you can actually do the which one was that? I think I had my own. I think this is the one, maybe. Yeah, this is the one. So this is where you can actually add different agents. You can give the agent URL. You can also give the. It's just gonna come in just a bit. Uh, or you can actually go down to your own exchange and get your assets. So there could be a healthcare payer and provider that I have actually created. So you can, so in the old world you would probably see, like for instance our own Salesforce or any of your systems, you would probably go in, log in, and basically get you to a set of systems that you probably have used or you haven't used. So here's all those applications from your Concur to your Slack to your wide variety of tools. So these are all the systems that we at Salesforce use, and you got to go and log into this particular center, and then say for instance I need to book a ticket to the Agent Force New York City World Tour. I probably have to go to Concur, search, and do quite a lot, right? In the new world, what it's gonna do is all of these are agents, and they're all different agents, some of which are developed in Agentforce, some of which are MuleSoft, some of which are on Bedrock, and they're also connected to different systems, or even your healthcare, health cloud or life sciences cloud, whatever agents that you want. In the future, what it's gonna do is, instead of actually going in, logging into the system and all, just gonna log into something like this and start your um, so show me all active accounts. For example, if I'm an account executive, I just want to show me all active accounts. It's obviously gonna do some a little bit discovery, so it's basically telling me there's no active accounts. So maybe I'll probably say, hey, create an account in Salesforce for a new lead, and then it's gonna ask me, hey, what's the name of the lead and all. Yeah, there you go. It's the account and all. So it's so based on whatever I might say, I'm not gonna give you all of those. I'm just gonna give you create an account for um, name where I'm on the. I'm probably gonna do billing address. Uh, 500 Boylston, Boston, MA02199, and that's it. It's gonna go and create me an account for all of those, because everything else is essentially, there you go. It created me an account, and just like that, I can also do I can also generate and create leads or get all leads. I'm sure this we just refresh that. This is probably gonna say there are no active ones, or maybe it'll bring them out. So let's see. I think it is bringing out a lot more leads out there. Um, so in the future, this is what the agentic enterprise is gonna really look like. It does not need you to log in. It's just one login that allows you to. There you go. It generated me all that, including Brian Halligan, who is the ex CEO of HubSpot, which is kind of really cool. So it does bring me a lot more, records and all that stuff. So instead of you logging in, you're just gonna go and just access these, and in fact, maybe even do a submission of a reservation and so on and so forth. Right. So these are all the things that will make an enterprise really an agentic enterprise, for that matter. And behind the scenes, there's Mule Agent Fabric that is really helping them out. Um, and um, and while I kind of did not have all of this, I'll give you an example of a very simple thing that we recently built. So, for instance, you really want to have the different agents that are running inside your MuleSoft environment. with respect to agents uh, on the employee onboarding, for that matter. So let me actually go and show you all the AI tools that are available inside. So these are all, they are all using. So this is the MCP server that we've enabled. There's a Zendesk agent, there's a Workday agent that I've all registered, of course, service Salesforce agent, and a Ping ID authentication agent alongside with an employee onboarding broker. So this broker is gonna make sure that it's actually working through all of these different agents to make that onboarding really flawless. And of course, there are also other bots and everything that you can see here. They're already also given out by MuleSoft, but more importantly, these are the ones that I'm trying to build in and I'm trying to get in. So what is really cool about this is the visualizer aspect. So Mule Agent Fabric is a set of four different capabilities. One, being able to discover, being able to orchestrate, being able to govern, and being able to observe, uh, which is the agent visualizer that you're seeing here. So the first part is the agent registry, which is the agent exchange that I just showed. The second part is the agent broker, which I think I'm probably gonna have to show it in Visual Studio Code, because that's where you can actually see the broker, which is really doing all the magic. So this is the broker that is loading up. Um, and you will see the broker is just a configuration set of files with the different agents, the Workday agents, and all of it. Um, so you kind of configured all of this. So this is the agent broker network, and the agent network is basically gonna tell you, and in a few moments you will be able to see this, how this agent is, the employee agent is actually talking and orchestrating. This particular broker, employee onboarding broker, is actually talking through all of these different agents and coordinating across multiple other MCP servers as well, just in case. um, so this is how you orchestrate the agent broker, and as you add more and more, this is a YAML. So as you add more and more agents, all you're gonna do is just add more agents here, from Workday agent to your Salesforce agent. So you're gonna add. So tomorrow, if you have an SAP agent, you just gonna add all of it, and then add the metadata and description and all that stuff to the agent registry. And I think I'll probably show that particular agent registry one in just a minute. Where is the agent exchange? So here's the exchange. So how does it really appear? So for instance, if it's a Workday agent is gonna map your email ID to your address. Here's the card details. So it's a Workday, and it's a new hire, it's an employee record. So all that it is gonna do is basically give you the an example like this particular John Smith with this email, with this phone number, and so on and so forth. It creates that employee record with all that. So the moment you give them these name, email, phone, and address, it's this particular Workday agent is gonna help create an employee record inside Workday. That's the agent card. And then there's also a badging agent which automatically prints the badge and so on and so forth. So this tracks the employee badging process, including the outreach for badge photo collection. So that's also something. And then so this is an agent card. Now, if you look at the MCP server for talent pool, right? This is the MCP one, so it exposes a lot of these tools. So in this case, what it's gonna do is it gives you actually give them an email ID, and then basically you can also update the address which is missed out during onboarding, so on and so forth. So what this whole broker is gonna do is essentially make sure that the broker is gonna coordinate across all of these, and help onboard a new employee inside the organization there. So that's the orchestration part. The governance is a little cooler as well. So once you have the agent running up and running, it will automatically create an agent based on whatever the type is. So if it's an agent, it generates an agentic server, A2A server, based on which you can apply a policy. So for instance, this is the agent, the Zendesk agent, and you already have policies that are already put in. So for instance, tracing is a policy that is added. The agent connection telemetry is also added, and then the A2A agent card as well is also added. And if you want to add any other ones, just like API management, you will be able to add that. So that's the governance, and the last part is the ability to visualize all of this. So this is where you have the employee onboarding agent that is talking to different agents, and then just like that, you will be able to click here, and you will be able to see what are all those linked agents, and if something is changing, how it is changing, and what is the state and all that stuff there. So and you can go and view and all that stuff. And then there is also a traffic based on how you can view the layers. So for instance, you can have sandbox and production. But by the way, you also see a lot of the Salesforce and on ad hoc ones. So for instance, there's an MCP server that I've created. There's a flow automation agent in Agentforce. So you will be able to get the agents, heterogeneous agents also in this agent visualizer there. So long story short, Mule Agent Fabric is going to help you with not just integration, but more importantly, help you supercharge your agentic enterprise there. And that is exactly where these four aspects of being able to discover, orchestrate, govern, and observe are going to come in there. And thus, with MuleSoft's Agent Fabric, you are now able to create what is called the unified and interconnected agentic ecosystem, where you have the agent registry or the exchange, where you have a central location to catalog every single enterprise agentic asset. So that way you can enable your agents to discover and reuse, and your developers also. You have the agent governance and security, which is a key foundation to secure, inspect, and manage every single agent to agent or agent to system interaction. You will be able to orchestrate these agents with that broker. So you have that, you can engage that best fit agents and assets. So your complex process execution occurs seamlessly, securely, and with consistent quality. And finally, that agent observability provides you that visual map of your agent network there. And a couple of last things that I promised, the agentic C4E implementation. C4Es are unlike COEs. COEs are not a one and done. They kind of, execute and continuously improve. But more importantly, there is an agentic C4E also, which is to evangelize best practice adoption, for you to measure the frameworks and all that stuff as well. And this is what it really looks like. So if you just think about it, you will be able to safely and consistently deploy technology at scale with respect to MuleSoft's C4E operational model, where now you're going to change and flip the AI-led integration or agent API operating model to now an agent-ready operating model, where you're still driving not just production, but also more importantly, consumption at the same time too. So if you've actually gotten any value now, I think adopting agents are really important, but more importantly, the measuring and making sure that they're scaling are really, really important there. And with that, I turn it over to see if you guys have any questions.
Thank you, Vara. It was awesome presentation. Personally, I really like this presentation and then the demo. I have some follow-up question. The question is, what is the pricing structure for this agentic, this architect and everything is?
Yeah, I think as you can see, these are built-in capabilities, add-ons to built-in additional existing capabilities like the exchange and everything. So some of these features come for free, like for the agentic registry or the exchange, it's for free with the platform. There are, of course, the agent broker needs flex gateways, both inbound and outbound. So you definitely need flex gateways, 2 flex gateways. That's an additional cost.
Yeah.
And the observability aspect, the API policies are by default available, so there's no additional cost on the API management capabilities. But then the advanced monitoring, the ability to see the traffic and the log management and everything, you need advanced monitoring, and that is included in the integration advanced queue as well. So if you already are a MuleSoft customer with integration advanced, then the only 2 things that you need are 2 flex gateways.
Oh wow. So we need the Flex Gateway to enable our enterprise agentic enterprise.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's the
you can
first
actually
requirement, and
reuse
then we
that.
can move forward.
Yes, that is
Sorry.
true. You can actually reuse
Okay.
the same flex gateways for multiple agents. So it's not like
Mhm.
one to one, but you can actually use that flex gateway, the same one, up to 50 APIs for the small gateway, and then egress usually is a large gateway, so up to 500 APIs or 500 apps, you can use the same gateway.
Okay. So I have another follow-up question: Is do you have any reference architect for the multi-agent this enterprise and
Oh,
agentic?
yeah, I do. I think, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this slide depicts how MAF, the Mule Agent Fabric, can extend a lot of capabilities, including Agent Force as well, in terms of how you can connect working with multi-agent architecture. So one of the key element to highlight is which platform is the owner of the communication channel and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of emphasis on managing all the communication channels, and that's where Mule Agent Fabric comes in. At the middle in there, I think there's definitely that intent detection that happens at the agentic experience layer, and that is where the Agent Fabric broker really helps to perform that semantic routing and agent orchestration. So that way, let's say if an agent broker is not able to handle the request, it can work with another agent fabric broker in a federated model, so that the right answer and the best agent is always available to serve a particular use case there. And more importantly, in this kind of an architecture, Mule Agent Fabric can work in playing a key role for securing and observing that interaction between the different
Okay.
agents and MCP servers and all that stuff there. So it's a single pane of glass, you can think of it.
Okay. So I have one last question. We are almost running out of time. Is Do you have any support of Azure? This agentic enterprise, can we do it in the Azure side?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we all of our models, you probably have seen the OpenAI one. I've used Azure OpenAI in the aspect there. So it's not an Azure versus MuleSoft. It's actually a coexistence. So Azure provides that foundation for agentic. The MuleSoft Agent Fabric provides the cross-platform control plane, I could say. Again, future-proofing against AI agent sprawl, and governance and compliance are the ones that Mule really plays around, not the platform capabilities. So Azure can provide that compute, that models, that identity or safety and observability, and MuleSoft can actually do the platform agnostic agent fabric to discover, govern, secure, orchestrate, and even monitor agents across the clouds.
Okay, this is my last question. Thanks for joining, Vara. I really appreciate you come in this channel, and then you gave this wonderful presentation. I would like to thanks to you and whoever joined in this channel. I would like to also share my screen and just see is anybody is. I mean, I would like to thank you from our side, and I mean I really appreciate. That's the end of our session. Thank you very much, everyone, whoever joined. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.